Hello, everyone. As the recent advancements in AI are getting more noticeable, a lot more people are stepping into this space. And with that, there are lots of why and what kind of questions coming from friends and colleagues. As I'm myself learning, I thought to start a mini podcast series of short videos covering different topics to help anyone interested. As a starter, some of these questions are very basic in nature. Things like what's the difference between an agent and a model and how they are related? um, how do agents connect with external systems, MCP, and then some timeline related questions like what has happened all of a sudden that has unlocked this current state in AI, and some advanced questions also like how do I optimize my context window to get the best usage? Well, let's look at all of this in a simple and easy way. Welcome to the first episode of Agents 925, and I'm your host, Farhan. All right. In this episode, we are going to look at some of the very basic questions. Actually, there are four things that we need to know before we can jump on to more interesting stuff. First, let's explore the most common question about models and agents. What is the difference between them and how are they related? I think this can be best explained by an illustration. Think of a model as a brain, a world class scholar sitting in a library that knows everything. It has memory, it can think, reason, it can solve complex problems. However, it has no hands. It can't take any actions, but it can chat to you and it can give you really good advice. On the other hand, an agent is a body with a brain. It's the same scholar who can think, who can solve complex problems, can reason, but now it has got hands as well. So it can perform some actions like sending emails, booking flights, updating accounting software, and a lot more. Some of the most common agents that you might have heard about are OpenAI Codex, Cloud Code, Google's Gemini CLI, and Microsoft Copilot. The related question is about the timing. That what has happened all of a sudden that has unlocked or matured the current state of agents? Well, the answer is it's not. Nothing has happened suddenly. It's actually an evolution from predictive to generative and to agentic. So remember back then when you're writing emails or responding to an email via Gmail and you see some suggestions at the bottom? Well, that was what we call as Gen 1, the predictive AI. It analyzed historical data to forecast what you'll be writing or what you'll be typing next. It has some limitations that it can only predict, it cannot create new things. Then comes Gen 2. This is the era of generative AI. Examples are ChatGPT writing essays, code, and creative content for us on request. However, there's still a limitation. It only can perform action when you will ask for it. And from there, we entered into the third generation, agentic AI. This takes autonomous action to achieve goals. For example, Cloud Code, editing our files, running our tests, and committing changes without asking for each step. However, having said that, one thing did happen last year, which really fast forwarded the maturity of the agentic development. The Agentic AI Foundation. In December 2025, something remarkable happened. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Block, all competitors in the AI space, come together under the Linux Foundation to create the Agentic AI Foundation. They donated their core standards to a neutral governance, ensuring an open future for AI agents, not locked to any proprietary platform. They were later joined by Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Bloomberg, and Cloudflare as platinum members. This list has now significantly grown. Pretty much all major technology companies are a part of it. Before December 2025, it was a massive challenge where the capabilities, behaviors, and skills of each agent was tied to only the model offered by the same vendor. And more importantly, how these agents interact with the outside world also differed not only by the AI platform, but also this was dependent on which systems you are interacting with. So, for example, for an agent to send an email via Gmail had a completely different protocol and procedure as compared to Outlook. Different products, different standards. But by having all the key players align on a single communication protocol for agents, it not only unlocked the engineering capabilities, but also unleashed the growth in agentic autonomous path. We now have the freedom to choose an agent of our choice and a model from a completely different vendor. Now, before we finish, there is one more important concept we need to know, and also another very frequently asked question. What is MCP? Remember the old time when every phone used to have its own specific chargers, which can't be used with the other phones? And then came along USB-C, which standardized how phones are going to be charged. Think of MCP as the USB-C of agents. It solved the M-end-to-end problem. Instead of every agent needing a custom integration for every app, they all just plug into the same MCP standard. The model context protocol is how agents talk to the outside world and how they talk to each other. It's a standard aligned as part of the AI foundation that all agents follow, regardless which vendor they belong to. The result, no more vendor lock-in. The same standard applies regardless of whichever system we are connecting with. If a better model comes out tomorrow, we just swap the brain and keep the tools exactly as they are. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope it was helpful. In the next episode, we are going to look at some of the domains which are getting impacted by these AI advances and how we can best utilize them in our benefit. Until then, take care and have a very good day.